Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be sharing with you the ways that I have personally avoided work burnout. This is something that I think a lot of people go through, especially right now. At least for me, I went through it because my office was fully remote for the last year and a half, and now I am back in the office full time. It's definitely a lot to get used to, and I just feel like I burn myself out a lot quicker when I am in the office. So these are things that I've kind of incorporated into my work life to help me kind of get through the weeks a little bit better without just feeling miserable as one can. Also, I'm sorry if the lighting keeps changing during this. The sun keeps coming in and out of the clouds, so I apologize, but I did just get home from work, so all of these are kind of fresh in my head because they're things that I have incorporated as of late. So yeah, I have 8 different suggestions. So I'll just start with the first one, and that is to take your lunch break outside of your office. This is something that before COVID and all of that, I did work in the office for I think 7 months before this happened. So I would always just eat my lunch at my desk because that's what everyone else in my kind of area of the office did. Our team, we all just kind of like brought lunch, ate it at our desks while we were working. We just didn't take our lunch break even though we were entitled to one. And so last week I actually started changing this and I started taking my lunch break. So it's only half an hour for me, but it really helps because I take my lunch and I just sit outside or I sit in the lobby downstairs, like because I work in like a big complex. And it's just so much nicer to not be in front of your work screen and in front of just being surrounded by your work stuff. Even if you're just eating at your desk and you're not working, it still feels like you're working, because you're not changing your environment. So for me, that's probably one of the bigger things that I've done to really help. And I've noticed a huge difference. My days go by a lot quicker, and yeah, I just really enjoy doing this, and I do not plan on eating at my desk anymore. My second suggestion and thing that I've done is to make different things for lunch every day. If you're the type of person to bring lunch. If you buy lunch, I would suggest maybe buying a different thing every day. But for me, just to stay a little bit more frugal, I make my own lunches. So I like to change it up a little bit. I'll maybe rotate between like 5 or 6 different recipes for the week, and that works perfectly for me. It just switches things up, makes it less mundane to eat the same thing. I'm the type of person that gets bored by food pretty easily, so having the same thing every day isn't very exciting. And this is a change for me because I used to eat the same like quinoa bowl every day because it was easy to meal prep and it just saved time. But it just was not enjoyable after the first week. Not that I was dreading it, but it just wasn't like something I was looking forward to. So I just started kind of making different things, even if they take maybe 10 minutes longer to prepare. It's worth it in the end to me. The next thing will not apply to everyone, but it'll apply to you if you work maybe in an office setting like I do. And that is, if you can, bring like AirPods or headphones while you're working. This is something that I don't know if I could really get away with. I've done it once and it was really good because it's just better than what plays on the radio in my office. And if you don't even have a radio playing, it's just really hard to concentrate, I think, when it's just silent all day. So I recommend having even just play something through like your computer speakers or your phone speakers just kind of quietly while you're working. It makes it a lot more enjoyable to me, and that could also help with your burnout. And the great thing about AirPods is they are discreet, so people might not even see them, which is always good. My fourth tip is to break up your day. I know I kind of went over this, but just try and you have your lunch, which is a nice break. You know when it is. It's it really does help to break up the day into 2 parts, I guess. But also try to incorporate some other things in, like bring a little snack and try and eat a snack while you're working, and that'll be another piece of your day. Just add little things that you enjoy, sprinkle it into your normal work day, and then I just feel like the day goes by quicker, at least when I do this. So I usually just bring like a little container of almonds and I'll just eat them at my desk. That's kind of like my afternoon snack thing at like 2:30. I'll just like pop them out. I think it's nice. It helps break up the day a lot. Helps to just make it a little bit more interesting, because when I'm at the office for 8 hours a day, just at my computer, like not doing anything else, it is like torture. So it's really important to just have these little things, and it's not like it's gonna like make you less efficient at your job, you know, if you're just like snacking a little bit. But I highly recommend that. I think a lot of people do this already, but I was never a big snacker, so I never did it, but I do it now because that also allows me to eat smaller lunches, because what I used to do is eat a ton of food for lunch and then I would feel so tired by the afternoon, and that was even more torture because the day just like drags so long when you're just exhausted and want to take a nap. My next tip is to get to know your coworkers better personally instead of just as a professional relationship. I have a good relationship with most of my coworkers. We like to chat when we have little pockets of time, chat about like what we're up to, what our plans are for the weekend, things like that. That's not necessarily just small talk, but we actually kind of get to know each other a bit more. So it's clear to me that my office, like we all really care about each other. We ask each other specifics about life events that we've mentioned or things like that, and it just makes it really nice and feel like you are part of this community. To know that like people are kind of like with you, I feel like you have less burnout that way, because you just have like a support system. So that's one that I've always enjoyed. I really like getting to know coworkers because honestly, you see these people more than you see your family, so you might as well try and be friendly with them. Obviously, not everyone's going to be friendly and nice, but I would hope that for the most part, people would be willing and would love to get to know you better. I also really like seeing them outside of work, because then you get to know them better in like a more casual setting. That's always fun for me, but again, that just depends on the kind of environment you're in. My next thing is something that took me a very long time to start implementing for myself, and that's to try and do fun things and plan things out for the weekdays instead of just the weekends. For me, I used to just come home from work, want to take a nap, get in my PJs, and then just kind of count down until my day starts again the next day. And that's horrible. That's no way to live. I've started doing spontaneous going out to dinner on the weekdays instead of just the weekends. I actually prefer to go out on the weekdays because it just makes it easier for me to not cook that night. And it's also just an exciting thing to do. Another thing I love to do is to do after work drinks with my friends. We will do that every once in a while, or we'll have like a movie night or something where we'll just hang out on a weeknight. It doesn't have to be for super late or anything. It's just a couple hours, really is nice, and is something to look forward to during the week as well, instead of just living for the weekend. These tips are basically the same thing, but it's really important to not just count down till Friday or Saturday. It's just, I mean, if you work 5 days a week, 5 out of 7 days you're working and you're just like dreading and like just waiting for the weekend to come. That's just not a way that I want to live. I think it's definitely important to have things to look forward to during the week as well. It doesn't have to be during work hours, but if you do have something exciting going on, like later, like on a Wednesday night or something, I think it really does help a lot. Of course, the weekends are great too, but if you're just, Monday morning, you're in a horrible mood because you have to work the next 5 days, that's just not really a great way to live, in my opinion. So just try and have fun things. They don't have to cost money. You can just, plan anything, like plan a special dinner that you're gonna cook, or go to the movies a certain night, or just watch something on your TV at home. I think that's exciting. I definitely burned out after my first few months of working because it was my first office job, and it's the job that I'm still in. I was just the type of person that would always just live for the weekend. And then when the weekend comes and I'm not doing something exciting that day, I always thought I'm wasting this weekend day, which I waited so long for. And then I get in a horrible mood because I wasted the whole day, even though I didn't. And yeah, I was just I don't want to say depressed, but it was definitely not great. I was in a horrible mental state for a lot of 2019, it would have been. I'm just trying to turn these things around now and really look at life in a different way, as cheesy as that sounds, but it really does help. And at least it's helped for me. I definitely have a lot more excitement during the week, and I'm not just excited for the weekend. And then my last tip, as the sun is going back into the clouds, is to have a good podcast in the car if you drive, or if you're just like commuting on public transit, have something good that you're listening to. Because when you listen to a podcast or you have a really good playlist, I feel like the drive seems so much less long. I actually enjoy driving now, just my normal daily commute, even in rush hour, because it's nice to catch up to a podcast or listen to like some new songs, and I really don't mind it anymore. I mean, I don't love waking up extra early compared to when I was working remotely, but there's just little things that you just have to kind of force yourself to get excited about or happy about, and for me, that's one of the things. So yeah, those are all my tips. I hope that they helped you. They seem kind of silly, I feel like, or obvious, but they're things that I never implemented until recently. I'm super glad that I did. This Thursday, I am definitely looking forward to the weekend, but not in the same way that I used to. And I'm excited to go to work tomorrow, actually, because my coworker and I are going to order lunch. So that's just like a small thing that kind of helps. I guess that's just like an example for today. I hope you all enjoyed. Please subscribe if you have not already. I like to post content like this because I feel like there's not too many people on this platform that work like a normal 9-to-5 job or talk about it. So I wanted to be there for anyone who is in the same kind of position as me. So again, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have an excellent rest of your day. Bye.